And we welcome you into our KMCH Sports Standout Performer of the Week presented by F&M Bank. Kennedy Klosterman is our latest winner here, as Kennedy had an outstanding effort the past couple of weeks shooting, but especially last Monday night in the win over Jessup as 8 3-pointers, a school record, tying the previous record from 2014 and 15, and then setting that record with 8 threes. Casey Palmer had that record before you. And did you have any idea? You knew you made a lot of threes that night, but did you have any idea you had the school record after the night was over before we told you?
No, not at all. After the game, Bill came up to me and was like, "Did you know that was a record?" No idea.
That's what I figured, that you probably wouldn't. And 7 threes and then breaking it with 8 threes. We talked about this Friday night after the senior night game, but when you were feeling it like that and just you weren't missing, that's got to be just an outstanding feeling.
Yeah, it is. I worked really hard for that. It didn't fall earlier in the season, so to finally get that felt really good.
Indeed. Patience, keeping with the process, things like that pay off. You knew how good of a shooter you can be, and just you knew he'd come back around eventually, and it has the past couple of weeks. And you know you can't do it without teammates, though, getting you the ball and
Right.
setting screens and all that good stuff, just like we talked about Brooke a couple of weeks ago with her dominant 30-point effort. But you know it takes your teammates around you to help out with that as well.
Right, exactly. Brad always talks about inside out. That's the best pass, and that's where I'm most successful. So it takes a lot of movement and keeping the ball moving on the offense, and it's a lot of work, but it's really rewarding.
No doubt. And talk about basketball. What do you like about it?
I just love everything. Meeting people, especially. I mean, playing with all these girls is just awesome. But after that, like going to Iowa Prep and meeting so many people, and then playing against your teammates that was on that team, like just so much fun, and I've met so many awesome people.
Absolutely. All about those relationships. You'll be friends with those girls most likely the rest of your life, or at least for a long time. And this team winding down the season here, can you believe your senior campaign is almost over?
No, I can't. It's been an awesome last 4 years. I wouldn't change anything. I'm very grateful for this experience.
And your 3-pointers, you've got 100 3-pointers now on the season, and in your career, I should say, 41 on the season. You're the second all-time 3-point shooter in the history of the program, too, behind Bethany Hahn from a few years back. So you definitely have perfected that 3-point shot. And as you wind down here, what do you hope for the rest of the regular season and for the postseason?
You know, we're just going to keep getting better. I mean, the rest of the season we've played all these teams, and now it's the second shot of going back at it, and we know what they do. We know what they're capable of, but we're just going to hope that we can finish those games out and win a few.
Indeed. And let's talk about, get to know Kennedy a little more as a person. Favorite athlete, who is it?
I just love watching the Iowa women's basketball team. It's so much fun.
Indeed, led by Caitlin Clark, but an outstanding team it is. Let's talk about your favorite pump-up music here.
I like listening to like the 2010s and that era. It's a lot of fun. Those old throwbacks, I call them.
Old throwbacks, 2010. You're making me feel old. That's only 13 years. You know that, right? Yeah. Old for you, yes. Superstitions, any rituals, game day foods, anything like that?
Yeah, my mom's the best. She gets me Subway before every game. That's what I got. She gets me the same sandwich that I got the day before Jessup. So now I've had that every game since. So.
Fantastic. And favorite sports moment?
My favorite sports moment was beating Solon last year. It was awesome. The crowd was so hype, and the coaches' reactions, they were just something you can't forget.
Indeed. What about a favorite quote?
My favorite quote is "Knowledge is power." My dad instilled that in me from a very young age, and I've always lived by that.
Indeed. And a role model?
Definitely my sisters. I could not do this life without them, and I would not be half the person I am without them, so I'm very grateful for both of them.
That's great. And any other activities and volunteer work that you're part of?
Yeah, I play golf, and I ran cross country this past fall. I'm also my student class president, and I'm the student council's executive president. I'm in FBLA, speech, NHS, and FCA. And I also participate in His Handiwork Puppets, which is a ministry.
Yes.
From the Stone Church, and I was a 5th grade basketball coach this past
That's
fall.
it? That's all?
Yeah.
Very active, and that's great that you're such a positive role model for the younger kids, younger generations, and you know they don't take that for granted. Kennedy, let's wrap up here with your future plans.
I'm planning on going to Winona State University in the fall and majoring in business, which I hope to end up in medical device sales.
Fantastic. All right, congratulations again on the great shooting and the record for most threes in a game, and being second now all-time in three-pointers in the history of the program. It's been a pleasure covering you the last few years, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Kennedy KLOSTERMANN, our Standout Performer of the Week, the latest one presented by F&M Bank here from KMCH Sports.